everybody? Hello, hello. Hello and welcome. Oh, hang on. There we go. Sorry about that. Hello. Hello. Some of my setup changed, so I apologize. Getting used to some new buttons. I'm always changing stuff. I'm always trying to improve my setup. Hello. Hello. Holidays are coming close. I can feel it. I can feel it. You know what? I'm feeling it so much. Let's get more festive. Yeah. Oh. Huh? No, that's too silly. We'll keep the lights on. We'll keep the lights on. How's everybody doing today? Hope the week has been treating you well so far. Usually I'd say, you know, my week's been pretty good or something, but this week's been shitty for me. Had a pretty shitty start. But that's okay. Not every week can be a winner. VTUBER I, hello! Welcome in! Welcome back! Happy holidays. You feeling the Christmas spirit? You better. You better. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Welcome in. It's the time of the year where everybody is getting upset about things on the internet. Weird announcements come up for all types of entertainment. And every website likes to remind you of what you did that year. Steam, Twitch, YouTube, they all want to remind you what you watched and all the trends that you participated in. And interestingly enough, we play a fuck ton of games on this channel, right? We play a lot. I think I've played well over 100 games. Well over 100 games. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it back for that game. Well, no worries. The VOD's still up on the channel if you want to see it. But it was amazing. That was Fear the Spotlight, wasn't it? I think so. I've run a complete blank on the last couple streams I've done. Everything's been a blur for me lately. Let me see. Let me see. Were you here for Dark? I don't. My memory, I am so sorry. My memory is failing me. I don't know. We've played a couple of games lately and my brain is. I remember yapping a lot. But Fear the Spotlight was amazing. Dark, if you were not here for it, was pretty good as well. Saturnalia was a very interesting experience. And if you have the time, I recommend going back and looking at that VOD. It's an interesting game, for sure. You were only here for Fear the Spotlight? Ah. Well, you got some catching up to do. The second chapter of Fear the Spotlight, I liked it, but it was very different, story-wise. And I don't know, it was a little shorter. I think because the first chapter of Fear the Spotlight, I spent a lot of time just learning the game and getting used to it. And then the second chapter, by that point, I was already in a rhythm. But, I mean, it was interesting. So I enjoyed it. Dark was another horror puzzle game. We got through with that one in one sitting, though. It had a pretty good start. Not so much a good finish. I recommend checking that out. But Saturnalia, like, that was what we streamed Saturday. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that a lot. I'm still thinking about it. There's multiple endings to that game, so I might go back. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Oh, that reminds me. So I Twitter has finally learned that I like seeing news about indie games. That's good for me because I can keep up with everybody. I saw something that said this is the world's first game made entirely from AI, start to finish. I'm trying to be nice with how I say this. The trailer was obviously AI. It was very obviously AI, like effects blending into one another, hands and faces not staying consistent. You could tell it was made from AI. But the game is a standard bullet heaven with some pixel art. Now, the thing about bullet heaven, if you don't know, it's games like Hollow Cure, Vampire Survivors, things like that. They're roguelite type games where you're essentially surviving waves and waves and waves, usually in a top-down format. That type of game has been named Bullet Heaven very recently. But there are templates for that, for Unity, for Unreal Engine, for Godot, for everything. Everybody has a template for that. And so I'm sitting here thinking, I think what actually happened is they're saying it's AI, but really they took the template, made some things with AI, and just used AI to push it out as fast as possible. I think that's what actually happened. I don't think it was made start to finish from AI, because I'm looking at the gameplay and I'm like, that's remarkably similar to some of the templates that I've seen on the Unity store. Huh. Interesting. Because I've seen AI code. I've seen AI scripting. It is not consistent. And it is not without bugs. You spend more time fixing bugs from AI code than you would spend coding it yourself normally. So I'm sitting here thinking there's no way, right? But I can't think of a reason why they'd say that other than the potential marketing of, we made this completely with AI. I don't know. It feels weird. It feels like a weird marketing stunt. Because you think the marketing stunt would be the other way around, right? Like, oh, we made this 100% without AI. That usually is what everybody's saying. But no. Now, I didn't look too closely at the pixel art. Maybe the pixel art was made by AI. I don't know. But these templates, that marketing makes me not want to see it yet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like an anti-marketing tactic. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get the AI bros into it. I don't know. I don't have a firm stance on AI for programming, stuff like that. As long as it's done, as long as the training data is sourced ethically, generally speaking, I have no problems with it. It's a tool. But that's the issue, right? It has to be sourced ethically. A lot of times it's not. But I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm watching the trailer for the gameplay, and I'm going, the template for these types of games in Unity and Godot and Unreal, they're plug and play. So it's already programmed and ready for you. All you have to do is put a sprite for the enemy, set their health and their damage and things like that, set the player health and damage, create, it has like ability templates, so like fireballs that streak out into a line and pass through enemies and damage them all, or, you know, a rotating object that follows the player, or a homing missile. There's several template abilities. Now, you could take those templates and make those your base and then program a bunch of unique stuff, like program an AI companion to attack, which I have seen a couple games do, but it's not in these templates, mind you. But I'm looking at the gameplay and I'm like, yeah, no, that's everything in the template. They just have different sprites. That's all it's changed. Something, and maybe the sprites were made by AI. But I can't tell. It's pixel art. I mean, if it's really detailed art, you can tell it's AI because things start, like, details start blending. But when it's pixel art, how do you tell? Like, how do you know? I don't know. I'm not intelligent enough on pixel art to really figure that out. Never had to think about it. I don't know. It was really weird to pop up. And I'm like, really? Towards the end of the year, this is the indie game notification that I've seen. I've seen AI pixel art, and it's the sizes of the pixels that randomly change. Oh, so like when you go from frame 1 of the animation to frame 2, the size of the pixels will change. Or like, I guess in the same image, you have a pixel of one size and then a pixel of another. That seems easily solvable, though, if you just have a consistent resolution. That seems odd. I don't even know how an AI could fuck that up. How do you fuck up different pixel sizes? That doesn't even sound like something that should be possible, and yet an AI has found a way. Amazing. The way we have innovated technology. You can change the size of a pixel. Incredible. That was a while back, so maybe it's fixed now. You have too much faith. You have too much faith in how fast these AI systems evolve. Really? I don't think that's been fixed. If that was an issue before, it probably still is. But I don't know, it felt weird. And of all the genres for them to enter into, the bullet heaven genre is a little oversaturated right now. That just felt like a bad choice. Weird choices all around. But the good news is we're getting a lot of, I hope so. I want to keep being able to tell what's AI and what's not. It's going to get tougher these days. I think the big push in AI generation, like evolution, is programming and videos. Because like if you've seen some of the video generated stuff coming out, it's getting ridiculously real. To the point where a lot of these people are actually just, because like one of the issues with video AI, we're gonna do a tangent here for a second. The game we're playing today is gonna be a multi-session game, so I have no issue wasting time. Video generating AI has a problem where like body parts don't stay consistent. So like when you take a step up a staircase, your boot will like stretch out and then come up like it's an elevator shoe. So what people are doing is they're actually building new AI models that have especially when there's a human on screen, a pre-made human like 3D model that you can't see, but the AI is referencing with that person on screen. So like kind of how like I'm being tracked right now, it is my cameras are looking at me and then creating a 3D model of me and my face. It's a very simplified model, but it still exists. And then they're tracking that data and applying it onto my actual 3D model. They're doing something similar where they're essentially have a background standardized 3D model with rough human proportions. And if the AI video human that they created gets a little too far away from that, then it sends signals that, hey, this needs to be redone. This isn't a normal human. Like, oh wow, where'd this third weird leg come from? It's gonna go, hey, the 3D model only has 2 legs. We need to redo this. So they are fully embracing the advancement of video AI. And then of course there's the programming. Vibe coding, while it is a meme, the reality is a lot of tech companies are firing a lot of programmers and replacing them, or I should say senior engineers, senior programmers, hiring vibe coders, junior vibe coders, and just making sure they do everything. So those are the two really big pushes for the evolution of AI models. As far as images and games and things like that, I don't know. I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. There's no reason to innovate those. There's not that much money in them. There's really not. Compared to the people who want to make videos, video AI models, and the people who want programming AI models, there's just, comparatively, there's no money in image generating AI. I actually saw an AI video yesterday, and I could tell because an object disappeared, plus the person's face turned into unnaturally red. Yeah, that'll happen. Video AI, I mean, video AI needs human data, and it needs high quality human data. The problem is a lot of the stuff getting fed into these AIs is stolen from the internet, which means you're getting a lot of TikTok phone video. Now that has its own problems because that video quality isn't necessarily top notch, and not to mention when somebody's not holding the camera steady and they're shaking back and forth, you got a lot of motion blur. And so the AI gets that and it doesn't know what the human face is because it's all blurry. So what's actually getting better is celebrity video. So somebody shared the other day a video of Will Smith eating noodles. And it was from the same AI model, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, versus now. And back then, it was basically, he would just open his mouth and the noodles would just disappear into his face. But now, it's actually him, like the noodles are steaming, he's opening his mouth, he's slurping in each individual noodle, and then he's actually chewing a little bit and making expressions. Like, you can see a lot going on. They are getting better because those videos are high quality. And so the training data given to the AI is high quality. Actually, I saw the original AI was okay. So you've seen what I'm talking about. There was an interesting thing this week. I heard there were 2 Bollywood actors. I don't know their names, but apparently they're relatively famous in the Bollywood scene. They're married, and apparently videos and movies and TV shows of them have been fed into training data, and people were creating videos and images of them having intimate relations with other people. Now, these 2 are married, and people are making content of them having relationships with other people without their consent or permission. So a couple of the AI models that were using that data and allowing users to create it are now under a lawsuit. So clearly not every celebrity is okay with this. And I'm just gonna say it. Will Smith has not enjoyed people stealing his likeness in the past for other things. I think it's only a matter of time of them stealing his face onto this testing data before he says something. You gotta be careful with celebrities, man. They'll fight you. Because think about it, that's their livelihood. Even taking away the fact that independent users are creating weird, like, shipping content with those 2 actors. The idea that you could take someone and make an entire movie without their consent, with them in it, like, that's taking somebody's livelihood. And the difference between, like, an individual artist on Twitter and Will Smith is Will Smith's got a fuck ton of money for a lawsuit. Just saying. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's bound to happen. I mean, they already crossed Disney. A couple of these outlets already crossed them. Although Disney just signed a deal with I forget which AI generator, but they signed a deal with a AI generator. Don't know which one. And basically, anytime somebody makes content of a Disney IP, Disney gets money. Yeah, OpenAI. So, let me see. Yeah, Disney invested $1 billion in OpenAI and licensed characters from its studios as part of that deal. Now, understand, even though they say, hey, we invested $1 billion into it, when they license a character, the person getting the license pays a huge fee. They pay a huge fee to Disney. So that was a two-way exchange. Now, the difference is we don't know what OpenAI paid for those licenses. We don't know if it was a straight fee, I highly doubt that, or if it's a royalty deal. If it's a royalty deal, that $1 billion is going to go away very fast. And I don't think OpenAI thinks about that. But we'll see how that goes. Aw, that song's ending. I like that one. Okay. I guess we'll move on to the next Christmas song. It's more Christmas EDM. I'm not gonna mind. But yeah, like, licensing is how Disney makes a significant amount of its money off IP. That's how they make their money now. Actually, they make their money off ESPN, but that's a whole different conversation. Sort of off topic, but I miss old Disney. It's just too nostalgic. Well, that's not super off topic, because I was just about to go into a tangent about that. Disney, the reason old Disney was so good was because that's how they made their money, was from actual entertainment. When they were releasing the old Disney cartoons, Beauty and the Beast, Snow White, Mulan, that was a significant source of income for them. But now, 70 to 80% of their yearly revenue, I'm not even joking, comes from ESPN. Disney owns all of ESPN, and that is their biggest source of revenue. That's how they were able to afford Star Wars. That's how they were able to afford it. And it's this realization that made them, because let me tell you how ESPN makes its money. A lot of other channels completely like gutted their sports news teams, and now they just license ESPN videos. So like they won't send people to like stadiums. Fox News is one of the few that still does. So Fox will send people to stadiums and video record the football games and soccer games and stuff like that. But let's say you're ABC. ABC's gutted a lot of that team. They don't go to the stadium anymore. ESPN's recording at the stadium, so ABC just licenses the ESPN footage. Granted, now ABC, I think, is owned by Disney. Do they own ABC? Yeah, they own ABC now. In 1996. So let's use CBS. CBS as an example. CBS will license the actual game footage from ESPN and then have their own broadcasters talk about it, like their own sportscasters. Disney makes money that way. And not Disney, we don't have to make too much. We just have to make enough of a thing that we can then license it to other people to use. And that's a significant source of revenue. That's why when they bought Star Wars, they gutted LucasArts. That's why LucasArts is gone. Now they just license out Star Wars to other companies to make games. They don't make games themselves anymore. It's a huge source of money. And the moment Disney realized that, that's the moment they stopped caring. That's the moment they stopped caring about the individual things that they made. Because all it's about now is keeping the IP alive so that they can license it, so that people care. The thing they make doesn't have to be good. You just have to make the thing. I don't watch Star Wars, so I didn't know about that. I mean, I was going to say, like, oh, how have you not watched Star Wars? But honestly, that's not even that surprising anymore. I feel like about half the population hasn't watched Star Wars, so it's fine. I hold no expectations. But yeah. It's not just Star Wars. Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts licensed Disney characters. I don't even want to think about how much Square Enix paid for those licenses. It's got to be an astronomical number. Millions? A billion? I don't even want to know. The license to Mickey Mouse for him to appear in Kingdom Hearts? How much would that have cost? And that's why now, when they make things now, they don't care about making it good. They just care about keeping it alive so that they can license it. Like the new Mulan film. It wasn't about making the live-action Mulan good. It was just about making it so that they can make money off it. I do know the Kingdom Hearts thing, even though, again, I don't know Kingdom Hearts. Understandable. I've played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts, but it's not my thing. I can't really get into it. Like, I've tried to sit through the game, but I'm sitting here going, who wrote this story? You know, I'm sitting here asking more questions than I'm getting answers. And I can't bring myself to finish the games. I don't know. Like, Final Fantasy games get pretty complicated. Kingdom Hearts is a whole nother level. All I know about Kingdom Hearts is the music is good. The music's phenomenal. What I will say is Square Enix, no matter what game they make, they never fail to deliver good soundtracks. They know what they're fucking doing. They know. They do good work there. But yeah, that's what changed. That's why old Disney doesn't exist. That's why you'll never see it again. It's not how they make their money. It's a shame that that's all it's about these days is the money, right? They get all their money from licensing. But hey, that's their decision. But at least in the games industry, actually, before I get off of Disney, funny story. The music is great as well. It is. It really is. But before I get off of Disney, a lot of the reason that they don't want to invest in games at all, despite the fact that by most economic records right now, games as an industry is more profitable than movies, music, and television combined. Or actually, I think music's pretty high. I think the number is books, movies, and television combined. Music, I think, is still more profitable than all of them, but that's also a tough thing to get into. But books, movies, music, games is more profitable as an industry than all three of those combined. So you'd think, why isn't Disney getting into this? Why wouldn't they keep their own studio alive? Well, that's because they released Epic Mickey. Now, Epic Mickey 1 did really, really good. It did really good. Epic Mickey 2 fucking bombed. Epic Mickey 2 absolutely tanked. It was not profitable. It's not that it was a bad game. They just made some really bad decisions. and a really bad release time, and like just some bad business decisions. And so that game tanked. And at that point, they start taking a step back from games because it's Mickey. Their main IP failed. You want a song name for this one? So here's the thing. This song doesn't really have a name because I got it off of Pixabay. Pixabay has a bunch of royalty-free music. But it is called The Bells of Yule, Christmas Holiday Electronic Dance Instrumental. It's called The Bells of Yule. You can find it on Pixabay. It's royalty-free. That is Pixabay. Pixabay. Let me see. Bells of Yule. If I type that in. If I just type in Bells of Yule, it is the second thing that comes up. It is the Bells of Yule Redux. And it's from Melody Ray's Griffiths. Am I reading that right? Am I having a stroke? Here, I'll just pull this up. There we go. This is the person that made it on Pixabay. Melody AY. I don't know. This person. I don't know how to say their name. They're the ones that made it, and they make a bunch of music like this. A bunch of EDM. Well, they call it EDM, but I refer to this as calm EDM or jazzy EDM because it's not the shit that you would hear at a club. And they've got a couple stuff here made for the holidays, but you should just be able to search Bells of Yule. Oh. Oh, it's in images, of course. Go to music. It's this song right here. And it's royalty free, so you can just have it. This is where I get all the music. Anything that you hear on a playlist here is royalty free. Now let me actually listen. Is this... I'm noticing there's two here. I think it's this one. Because this one didn't sound right. This one did. But yeah, I get a lot of the stuff I use from Pixabay. A lot of the images I use for my thumbnails, like background images, props, things like that, I get them off Pixabay. I get my music off Pixabay. Although, I do have another playlist of music. This one. This is not my Christmas one. This is just a normal one. But I do have Hightail's original soundtrack in here. When Hightail was canceled, the artist released the soundtrack open to the public, and so it's free to use. And so I got some of their songs in here. Some of this stuff was not off of Pixabay. Got some jazzy music in here. But yeah, I got a bunch of the Hightail songs in here. Some of this stuff. A lot of the songs are shorter. I don't know why it took me so much longer to find the song, but I have it. Thank you. No worries. Look, I'm just used to navigating Pixabay because I've been using it for years. It has been my resource. As a former professional video editor and then, you know, a game dev student or a game design student, shouldn't say development, I'm not a programmer. I used Pixabay for a lot of things. A lot of things. And it's a huge resource. It's also a good place. A lot of the people who put their music on Pixabay, they're using it to kind of build up a portfolio. Because when you're trying to get hired by somebody, it's good to show, hey, this many people downloaded my music. And it's easier to get those downloads when it's royalty free. So when you're trying to get hired by like a music production house, it's good to show that, hey, other creators are downloading my music. I've never heard of it before. Honestly, I don't even know. Does it pop up in, let me see. Royalty-free music. Oh, well, I'm searching in my own thing. I gotta open private window. Let's see. Because I know search results are changed based on your search history. So let me open a private window. Pixabay, when I search royalty-free music, is the third option. The first two are artist.io, which, while they've got a good selection, I feel like it's artist.io is a money-making model. It is not a community site. Ben Sound is the next one that comes up. You know, I'm just going back to the window. Let me switch to the private window. You know what, fuck it. I'll just close the private window, whatever. Artist.io, Ben Sound. Again, it's got a decent selection. But I feel like rather than creating royalty-free music originally, they were more trying to replace SoundCloud with mixed results. I guess I just don't look into this stuff because none of it's familiar. Unless you're like neck deep in content creation, you probably wouldn't have heard of these places. These things are made for creators. But they've got a pretty good selection of professional artists. Ben Sound. They tried to replace SoundCloud, didn't really work, and so they switched more to royalty-free models. But I mean, even here, like, you've still got to license them. Or you just pay a subscription fee. It's a model to make money. Because these are pro artists who are releasing their product to the public. It's a different model entirely. Pixabay, however, is a community site. So you come here, and it's people posting their own stuff. Nobody makes money here. Now, some people do sponsor ads on the site for, like, if I go to photos, there are going to be some stock photo ads somewhere. Maybe if I search leaf. Like here. There's a sponsored website where you can go and buy some. But Pixabay itself doesn't really make money. That's not the point. They are not a money-making site. And a lot of problems these sites have is, oh, well, you know, it gets flooded by AI, right? Well, you can filter that out. In fact, you can filter AI-generated content only if you really wanted to. I only know of Dova Syndrome. Oh man, I haven't heard of Dova in a long time. God, I have not been here in forever. I have no idea what their music selection is like these days because I have not been here in forever. Pixabay, I just use it because it's my one-stop shop. Look at this. Images, videos, GIFs, 3D models, music, sound effects. My God, their sound effects library. Half of my editing effects library comes from Pixabay. Half my library comes from here. The other half of my library is the free Adobe sound effects. I mainly watch VTubers, so it's like everyone's music that I watch. Yeah, we have a lot of music artists. We have a lot of people trying to be idols. And a lot of music mixers, especially, which is weird. It's not just idols. Like someone that I raid on a semi-frequent basis is Nikto. Which, let me see. I haven't actually seen him stream in a while. Have I just not been matching up with his schedule? Little Nikto. Has he not streamed in a while, or have I just not matched up with his schedule? Oh, he streamed earlier today. So yeah, I am not matching up with his schedule. But he streams, he does some music creation editing, but is outside of the little idol sphere thing that people like to do. But yeah, it's surprising how many people in the VTubing space do music. Should have specified I meant corpo VTubers. Ah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yes, they do need Dova. No, that does make sense. Oh man. Also, that as well as so many talented VTubers in music. Yeah, there's a lot. Slowly but surely, other types of artists are making their way into the VTubing space. It's just taken some time. Music was obviously the first because, I mean, it was originally centered around idols. I should probably change my category to just chatting at this point. I did say Yapcore, but like, I didn't expect to be yapping this much. But yeah, considering oops, sorry. No, not your fault. I was planning to yap anyway. Not your fault. Don't apologize. I'm trying to do more yap sessions before I game. I'm the type of person who just likes to start a stream and immediately hop into a game. I'm gonna snooze this ad. Snooze. Sleep. But because we all started VTubing as like an idol industry spinoff, it makes sense that we're all focused around music at first. And then the 2D artists came, and then the 3D artists came. And now the video editors are slowly seeping in. That's why you're seeing good video edits and more VTubers move towards focusing on clips and video content than they were before. It's because editors are finally moving into the VTubing space and making themselves available. Doesn't mean people won't complain about artist prices. That's always going to be a complaint, but they're becoming more available. Not necessarily more accessible, just more available. But I feel like that's always the content creator artist struggle. Like if you are a like let's say a live 2D artist or a 3D artist. I and my commissions open until like June this year. The constant complaint everybody has is prices are too high. And that's always the struggle. It's the same for editors. Editors are expensive, especially if you want somebody to create videos for you full time. That can get very expensive very quickly. Like, so I make my own videos. I edit my own videos, putting out 2 a week plus 2 clips. Recording and editing combined is about 20 hours a week. I feel like with the prices, the one doing the work should be able to price what they believe is equal to their work. Weird. No, I understand. In the professional sphere, when I was doing video editing, granted, again, this is back in 2014 to 2018, it was B2B. So I could charge an hourly rate. And basically I give them an estimate and I say 50% up front. And then it's 50% of the estimate. And I charge the remaining balance based off my hourly work. So like, let's say I charge $20 an hour. I do 50 hours of work, or I'm estimating 50 hours of work. I'll say, okay, 20 times 50 divided by 2, that's what I'm going to charge you. But I end up doing 52. I'm not just going to have those 52 hours be free, those extra 2 hours. They're paying for the extra 2 at the back end. And in B2B, in business to business, that's acceptable. So like when I charge a commercial company to do that editing, they understood. That was acceptable. That was just part of business. When you do that to a content creator, everybody loses their fucking mind. You have to be upfront with every cost. And so editors and everybody, every artist is incentivized to work fast. Not good, fast. Because the faster you get done, the faster you get paid, because you're paid by the project, not by the hour. That makes it tough to price things. That makes it really tough to price things. But it makes sense. A lot of content creators do not have an art background. Or like a professional entertainment background. So they don't understand that. But that is a constant struggle. But like, I edit my own videos. Recording and editing takes about 20 hours a week combined. Granted, I batch mine together, so I'm not doing it every week. But if I were to separate it weekly, that's about what it'd turn out to. Just the editing part takes me anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, depending on the video. And then 20 minutes for a short. If I were charging $20 an hour to make a full-length video, in 5 hours, I've already made $100. That's not very much. And from what I've seen, editors online are charging a fuck ton more just to scrub a video. A lot of content creators nowadays don't even have a job background. Oh, don't even get me started. Why do you think there's so much VTuber drama? Like, everybody's dropping a Google Docie. A lot of content creators, not just VTubers, content creators in general, a lot of them are what we call accidentally famous. They've never had a real adult job, never built up the social skills that you normally develop in an adult workplace or even in college. They've just never developed those social skills. And so when it comes to working with other people in a professional capacity as a content creator, something just doesn't click. You know? Causes some issues. But that's why you got a lot of content creator drama. A lot of people just didn't build up those social skills, and they think the way to resolve anything is to make content out of it or to put people on blast. My whole thing is, and Giga, if you want to look at big VTuber like sources for this, Giga supports this. I'm someone who can't physically can't work, so I don't know how much I can say. I mean, you've probably still built up social skills though as an adult from doing other things. A lot of content creators who just started being professional content creator out the gate in adulthood have just never socialized outside of content. Like the number of people who have built up a relationship with other content creators purely for collabs is ridiculous. They don't think of them as coworkers. They think of them as like tools to make more content. Or the other end of the spectrum, you're not my coworker, you're my friend. And you're putting that expectation on them. So don't feel like you don't have a voice here, because you've likely still developed social skills that a lot of content creators just don't have. Yeah, both sides are really weird to me. They are. They are. But if you want a good source, a good big name content creator source, Giga has said this a couple times, and I fully 100% agree with her. Even if you are a full-time content creator, never quit your day job. Never quit your day job. Because you never know when that career comes to an end. And you're going to have to fill out a resume. Take, for instance, a lot of major creators in the early days of YouTube. A lot of them have quit because of stress, anxiety, a lack of creativity. And then you've got the ones that quit because of drama or legal struggles or something else going on. You just never know. And as far as I'm aware, Giga still has a day job in tech. It's part-time, obviously. I'm not going to quit my day job. My job's in the reserves. So I'm on contract. I can't really quit even if I wanted to. But like working 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, I could do that easily. I choose to work more because it's good pay. If I were to ever do this full time, I'd probably still do that. That's my retirement plan. It can really flip on a dime. Every day it could flip. Especially now, you never know when somebody's just going to release a Google Docie on you. Somebody's going to release a Google Doc on you as a content creator because you made a fat joke with them in the chat. And they're like, I felt really offended by that. And I think you hate the fat community. I think you hate the thick and overweight people who are struggling with eating disorders. They're just like, I was just making a joke, man. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter. Your career's over. You gotta be careful. But then again, that's also why you gotta build up actual relationships and social skills with people to know what they're comfortable with and what they're not. It all ties together. But yeah, people shouldn't quit their day jobs. You never know when that's going to turn out. But you know, I made a comment earlier that I don't know what editors charge these days for content creation. I think I've actually seen one about that. Honestly, that wouldn't even surprise me. Oh, that wouldn't surprise me. Let me see. I'm going to go to VGen. How much does a video editor charge for custom long form videos? The first thing I see pop up is long form video editor, $50. Let me see how this pricing works out. Also, I hold nothing against this person, Scrubtello, nothing against you. I'm just using you as reference because I don't know what editors charge. Cuts, transitions, green screen. Video would be 8 to 15 minutes, unless specified otherwise, 1080p or 4K if specified. Is there any reason not to do 2K? You don't even have to be monetized on YouTube to upload in 2K, do you? Am I wrong? Or does it downgrade you to 1080p no matter? You know, it's fine. I upload my videos in 2K, so I've just been assuming that they're in 2K, but I've got no idea. It could be downgrading all my videos to 1080p. So $50 for an 8 to 15 minute long video. That's actually not a bad rate. If you spend 3 to 5 hours on it, it's like $10 an hour. It's low. But subtitles are an additional $5. Which, by the way, you didn't hear this from me. Subtitles are really easy. They're really fucking easy. It's the shortest part of my workflow. It's super easy. 1 hour of VOD scrubbing is included with the base price. Ooh. Any extra VOD time will cost $15 per hour. There we go. Now we're getting into the rates where the editor starts making their money. If the last hour exceeds 20 minutes, an additional $7.50 will be charged for that final. Oh, so it's full hours, but if it's a partial hour at the end, they charge an additional $7.50. Or if it's past the 40-minute mark, they just charge for the full hour. Okay, that makes sense. So that means if you did a 6-hour stream, you're paying 50, 55, 70, let's see, 70, 85, 100, 115, $130 for one video. If you did a 6-hour stream and you want to turn that 6-hour stream into one 8 to 15 minute video with subtitles, that would cost you $130. As someone who relies on subtitles, I feel you have to not have hearing issues for subtitles, though. Actually, you don't. You don't. So both Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Resolve, both of which are the most commonly used editing softwares today, have a built-in transcript software. It's built in. So it listens to you. It can even separate out different speakers. So if I'm sitting here doing a collab, you can separate out the different speakers. And this is before generative AI was a thing. They were doing this back in like 2017. And it's gotten way more advanced now. I use it a lot in legal work for courts. Like when we're doing like interviews and depositions and things like that, we'll need a transcript for the jury, and we'll take that transcript. Both of these editing softwares let you turn that transcript into subtitles automatically. That's why I say it's the shortest part of my editing workflow. For an 8 to 10 minute video, it takes me like 10 minutes because I'm literally just watching the video, and anytime I notice an error, which the errors are usually pretty minor, it's usually punctuation. It doesn't know when a sentence ends, especially when I'm talking like this, where I kind of just keep going with the sentence. Even though I've stopped the previous sentence, I just continue on into the next one without a major pause. It doesn't really know where the sentence ends, and so it just puts a punctuation somewhere. I fixed that. I've never really edited, so I didn't know. Yeah, I mean, that's why they charge. But honestly, this person is pretty honest. $5 for the amount of work that it takes for me to do subtitles? That sounds about right. It's easy. You just have to know how to do it. Which actually, hang on. I want to see their subtitles real quick. Oh geez, that's an hour-long video. Is this a highlight video? Yes.
I'm so excited for this game today. I don't know. I wanted always to have my own P park. What? You know, like in South Park.
Okay, so we got
park. The PP
meme
park.
edits, subtitles.
And I saw this today in the morning, and I was like, I want to have my own PP park too, like Saba has, like Paperboy Girl has. So I wanted to have it. Especially fox pea smell.
Huh?
Fox pea smell. Fox.
Okay.
There's not enough.
So a standard highlight video. But we've got meme edits. We've got sound effects. Sorry, the music stopped and my brain stopped with it. Let's turn that back on. And then we've got the subtitles, all of which are like fairly standard. I think this is fair. Because again, editing doesn't take that long. It's scrubbing long videos that takes a lot of time. Funny first impression, but pretty model. Yeah, her model's great. Oh, is she an agency? Ah, I think she's an agency VTuber. Who are you? Yep. Mimyoy. I should probably learn to say names better. But depending on how long that VOD is, or the VOD for this video was, she probably paid close to $130 for it. Simulator games can take a long time to play, so I have no doubt that her stream was probably at least 3 hours. So she's probably paying, you know, 70, 80 bucks for that video. That's not something most people can afford unless they're already making money. But thinking about it, I'm putting up 2 videos a week. That's $80, $80, $80, $80, $80, $80, $80, $80. Hey, that's a lot of money I'm saving. And I also feel like that's the reason a lot of VTubers pick up a certain type of art. Is because they realize, wow, doing this shit by yourself is expensive. If you can make your own models, that's probably making your own models and making your own video edits are probably, in my personal opinion, granted I'm a little biased, I think they're the 2 biggest money savers. Because a model, a good like 2D, live 2D model between the artist and the rigger is probably going to cost you over $1,000 easily. Not to mention the wait lists you got to get through. 3D models can be just as expensive. Our starting prices are usually around $600-700, but when you get all the add-ons like the AR kit, you know, all these expressions, they can get kind of expensive. And then of course the videos, making clips. Oh, actually we just looked at, hang on. We only looked at editing short videos or long form videos. What's a short cost? One YouTube short. I'm just gonna look at the first person. It says $18.79 for a 10 to 45 second clip. Doesn't say anything about VOD scrubbing, which means you have to provide them the section already scrubbed. So basically $20 a YouTube short or a TikTok video. I have no idea how people make models. Different kind of human compliment. Lots of time. Lots of time. That's how we make them. That's really all there is to it. It's just a huge time investment. And that's why people charge so much. I mean, hell, let's go to the 3D model section. There's not that many 3D model artists in VTubing. 3D models just aren't as popular as live 2D. In fact, a lot of what I'm seeing here is just like parts of a model or updates to a model. I'm not seeing full model commissions. The people I follow for 3D models, here we go, 940. But again, waitlist, because there's not that many of us that have comms open. And then of course the people at the tippy top charge like a minimum of $4,000. So, generally speaking, if you can make your own model, it's a huge money saver. If you can edit your own videos, that's a huge money saver. But they're also huge time investments to learn. That's why they save you that much money. But that's also why I think a lot of people learn music. They learn an instrument. They learn 2D art. They learn, you know, some other skill to assist in their content creation that also gives them something unique to do and showcase outside of just playing games. It's not just a money thing, although that is a huge part of it. Yeah, I usually hear it costs 2 to 8K. Yeah. Mari and Shonzo are the two people, no offense to other 3D artists that I follow. Like, I'm mutuals with a lot of 3D artists. I don't hate y'all. Nobody share this clip with them. Don't clip this to them. But I think Shonzo and Mari are probably up at the tippy top of the 3D artist VTubing sphere. Because of their clientele and their prices. Shonzo's usually making about probably 6 to 8 grand per model USD. And then Mari, most of Mari's work these days, I think, is with Zentrea. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've seen her pop up on my feed. Yeah, I think most of her work is with... Oh, she did the 3D model for Callie's latest, Calliope Mori's latest music video. Ah, a name I know, Zen, yes. Zen's got a couple 3D models that have been made by Mari. In fact, for a while there, people were assuming that Mari was under an exclusivity contract with Zentrea. Not true. Not true. But Zentrea goes to her a lot because Zentrea can afford her. So, but yeah, looky here. We got a couple models that Zentrea has done through Mari. Got the workout outfit. One of the Christmas outfits for the dragon. This is Mari's actual model, by the way. She made a model for herself, just kind of like I did. Kind of like how I made a model. Oh, I realize I'm blocking the way here. You're just gonna have to deal with it. She made a model for herself, though, showcasing her skills. Zentrea again. But she made a model for Bao, Ariel, and then you got Callie for her latest music video. But I mean, there's... Let's count the Zentrea models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 models. And I think just this year. Or maybe the past 2 years. I've lost track of time. We're going to say the past 2 years. 5 models for Zentrea alone. So people were assuming, oh, well, she's exclusive. No, she wasn't. She's just expensive. And that's tough. That's tough. It's intimidating because people will look at that and go, oh my God, how does a new and upcoming VTuber afford a 3D model? Well, you go to somebody smaller. Or you go corpo and just hire the big ones right out the gate. But this has been a very productive Yap Sesh. I don't think I've ever had a Yap Sesh this productive where I've covered so many good topics. This is good. This is good. Thank you Thank you, Vamp. Thank you. You have been a blessing to me. Oh! Shit, as I'm closing windows here, prepping to play the game. This has all been very interesting. Thank you. Well, thank you for keeping me on it. I love these topics. This is my life. This is my life. This is what I do every day. I love sharing this stuff. Before we get into the game, because I realize I've been yapping for an hour and almost an hour and 20 minutes. I did want to share. No, not that. This? Yes. So this is Steam's recap of my year. I'm very talkative when there's not a lot of people. Well, I've seen a couple people pop in here who just decided to lurk and listen. I know who y'all are. I know you. I know you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm trying to do the eye thing, but my hand tracking is not really fast enough. Close enough. Whatever. You get the point. I'm watching you. I know who you are. But Steam, as the end of the year came around, decided to remind me, hey, you've played a lot of games this year. That's just on Steam. That is just on Steam. We play a shit ton of games on itch.io. For every, 4 games that I've played... I'm going to say, yeah, every 4 games that I've played on itch, we've played 1 game on Steam this year. That is insane. So we've played... Granted, some of this stuff I didn't play on the channel. Like, I did not play Abiotic Factor on the channel. I did not play Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii on this channel. I didn't. And we'll go through this in a second, just to review my games. But I play a lot of games. A lot of games. So for every game that I've played, I've probably played at least 4 or 5 from itch on stream. Because there was a point in time from, I think February all the way to June where I didn't play bigger games. Every stream was the same. It was either an art stream, which I eventually stopped, or it was a stream where I played 3 to 5 indie games off itch. Now I reserve those games for videos, and I play the bigger games on stream. The games that I've been backlogged on. And some of those are in Epic, not Steam. So this isn't even capturing half of what I've played this year. Not even. That's why I've tossed around the idea of doing a tier list of all the games I've played, but the prep work of me having to go back and figure out what games I played this year is gonna be insane. I don't even remember. And I don't have the logs. I don't have the stream information from back then. So I don't even know. Itch doesn't save all that info. So I don't know. But we're going to go through this. These are obviously the big games that I've played this year on Steam. 92, 77 new games, which we'll get into that stat. 24 demos, 5 playtests, which means I had to sign up for it. 43 games that I've earned achievements for, and 47 rare achievements. Mostly keyboard and mouse, understandable. I only play with a controller if I have to. Or if it's like a side-scrolling RPG or something, in which case, even though controller is not required, it's just better. But like anything shooter or strategy, I just use mouse and keyboard. So we got Abiotic Factor. I played a lot of time in there. I prefer controller or mobile. Honestly, I do play a lot of mobile games these days. But I don't play as much controller anymore. I really used to, but these days I really don't. I think it's because I've shifted more into strategy and first-person games. And so naturally I've shifted towards liking mouse and keyboard more. I don't know. I think that's really the only big explanation. But of the time I've played on Steam this year, 17% of that was Abiotic Factor. That's a really good game. I played that with my friend. She wasn't really comfortable being streamed. I don't blame her. But music's slightly loud. Oh, I apologize. Let me... Hang on. I got a filter on there. Or I thought I did. I was supposed to have a filter on there that limits the music to a certain volume. I apologize. I will turn it down to right there. Negative 13 decibels. Some of these songs are really loud. But Abiotic Factor is such a good game. And they're still updating it. There's a lot of updates planned for next year that I'm really looking forward to. Thaumaturge. When I came back from streaming, or when I came back from my break with my new PC, this was one of the first games I played on stream. It's also the game that I suspect broke my PC. I suspect this is the game that burned out my CPU. But it was really good. 9 sessions played, 8% of my Steam playtime this year. Like a Dragon, I played that by myself off stream during my break. Because my computer could not handle this one either. 7% of my time played. 6 sessions. I thought it was more than that, but I guess I just did a lot in one sitting. Probably a lot of late nights. Sacrificing sleep. I don't care about achievements. 92 games. Longest streak was 16 days. So there was a time where I played 1 game a day for 16 days in a row. Don't know what that was. Don't know if it was different games or something. Not sure. That may have also been where I was like recording videos one day and streaming a game the next day. And I was just continuing that for an entire 2 weeks or more. Or maybe it was just one game. I don't know. But most people just do 6 days in a row. But 46% of the games I played this year were new releases, released this year. That's interesting. I didn't think it was, because I played a lot of games that didn't release this year, like Thaumaturge. Thaumaturge didn't release this year. That released in like 2023. 14% percentage of playtime spent by all Steam users on new releases. That makes sense. There's not a lot of people who pick up new games right off the bat. They wait to see reviews come in and bug fixes come in, and then they wait for the Steam holiday sales. That's what they're really waiting on, is the Steam holiday sales. Okay, I play a lot of medieval and action roguelite. That's surprising. Steam Workshop, 45 subscriptions, 4 reviews written. I thought I'd written more reviews. Oh, I guess it means I have to actually write a review, not just put a like or recommend. Gotcha. Abiotic Factor. Yep, played that during my break off stream. Thaumaturge. That's when my computer broke. It did break then. Okay, so I did a short session in July, and then it burned out my CPU. And then, of course, we streamed it October and September. Actually, no, I did a little bit of playing offline in the prologue just to kind of test it out and make sure my computer could run it in September, because I re-debuted with this model in October. So this was just playtime, like me testing to make sure it worked. That's the actual playtime. Off stream, makes sense. Ball pit. I hopped on that trend. I have no excuses for this. I was just following the trend. It's a lot of fun. It's very addicting. Highly recommend it. Oblivion. Played a little bit of that. I'm not a huge sucker for nostalgia, so this came from my friend's shared library, and I just kind of played a little bit of it. I might play it on stream. We'll see. Yeah, this makes sense actually, because I was doing a lot of Abiotic Factor then. I did play a little bit of Tainted Grail. Not really my kind of thing. Thaumaturge, Megabonk, a mix of games. You played on one device. Oh, more than one device. Virtual reality. Yeah, it's gonna get into the VR game here. There's really only one. And look, I don't even do that much playtime on there. Earlier this year, I did a little bit of it. I don't think I've hopped on VR chat since July. I don't think I've hopped on VR chat since July. But we got a bunch of other games here that we got recently. Death's Door, Rainbreaker. I did get back into Moonlighter. On Guard, which we had a rough time with. Pirate Yakuza. All fun games. Even though I had a rough time in On Guard, still fun. Even though Rainbreaker has its flaws, still fun. But here's the big part. We played 24 demos. We played 24 demos this year. Most of these were during Next Fest. And apparently the ones that took the most time were Mick, Runeblight, Umigari, Death and Abyss, and Molder. Which the demo on Itch, I don't know about the demo on Steam, but the demo on Itch has been updated for Molder several times already since we played it. I might have to go back and play it again. I don't know if I'm going to do it on a stream unless there's a significant update. But a lot of fun. Death and Abyss has since released its full game. I have to get it. I'm just trying to find time. I got to get through my backlog before I get into this game. I haven't heard of any of these games, like these games or these demos. Because honestly, I'd be surprised if you heard of the demos. Because when Next Fest was going on, I specifically chose games that Steam was not force-feeding down people's throats. None on this page? Gotcha. Now, I specifically hunted these down because Steam was forcing a lot of games onto the Next Fest front page, and it was a lot of Hades type games and Bullet Heaven type games. And I was like, there's no way this is all there is to Next Fest, right? And so I went digging and I found a bunch of games that we played for Next Fest. I think that VOD is still up on my VOD's channel, which is, as of right now, has a limited lifespan. I'm going to delete it in March. But I'm going to let it live until then. Because it's just no longer needed. Now that I have an active YouTube channel with the live tab, I don't need a separate VOD's channel. So, but I think the VOD for this stream is still up. But these were all interesting demos. All of them very interesting. I'm looking forward to all of them. This one's had a full release. This one is coming out pretty soon, I think. This is from a well-known horror game, Japanese horror game creator. Also off topic, but sort of confused me. Am I to assume you're fine with any pronouns? Yep. Anything. If you'd prefer to use he, him when I'm using this voice, or if you'd prefer to use she, her when I'm using this voice, or just they, them in general, you are perfectly fine to do whatever. They, them's probably the most convenient, so feel free. You could also just say, hey, tree. As long as it's not something mean, you can call me whatever you want. Runeblight, I don't know when this one's releasing. Mick, I've seen a lot of updates for on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure it's coming out pretty soon, early next year. But Death and Abyss has already come out. Molder, I think, still has a lot of work before it's going to be a full release. So I think the two games that are probably going to release in 2026 are Umigari and Mick. So I'll probably come back and play the full releases. Oh, here's the daily streak. That was a game I played offline. Okay, so some of these were videos I recorded, and some of these were games I played offline. Okay, so it was just pure luck that I did 16 days in a row. Because we have a stream game, offline game, stream game, video recording, stream game, offline, stream, 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 offline, stream, stream. Slime Rancher game, I know. It's a lot of fun. However, when I play it, I do the thing where my brain turns off. So I don't know necessarily if it would be good to stream for me. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea. But I'm thinking about it. Because they had their full release. I've played it for the beta this year. And I checked out the full release, but I didn't get into any of the new content. So I haven't seen what's changed since I played it last year during the beta time. The early access time, sorry. But I might play it on stream. The first game was a lot of fun. I loved the first game. And I love 2. I just don't know if it's a good thing for me to stream because I shut down. Oh, we're going through a timeline. Okay. I played the first Descendant? Well, clearly not very long because I must have hopped in and then immediately hopped out. Mountain Blade, did a little bit of Code Vein. Fly Night was a lot of fun. That was a good indie game. Fly Night actually started as a Game Jam game and then was given a full like release later down the line. That was a lot of fun. Morrowind, played a bit of that. Oblivion, Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I did a little bit of Baldur's Gate this year, not a lot. VR chat. Yeah, there's my dipping my toe into Marvel Rivals just to see what it was. Not my thing. Not my thing. I do not play competitively. Paratopic. Oh my god, Paratopic was so good. That was really an excellent showcase on stream of the types of games that we play. I don't even have the VOD anymore, do I? Because that was back in May. Yeah, I did not keep that VOD. Oh my god, I'm heartbroken now. That's a weird game though. I recommend looking up a playthrough if you haven't, if you don't know what that is or anything. Dollmare, that was a cool horror game. Witchfire, Binding of Isaac. I tried a couple things here. Greed Scrub was just a weird, very, very political indie game. Very political. How Wild Loophole. I loved streaming that game. That was so much fun. Bioprototype, Vellum, Darkwood was a lot of... I never beat Darkwood on stream. Oh, no. I should probably beat it on stream. Even though you're a tree, when I first saw your model, you reminded me of the volcano girl from my Singing Monsters. Hold up. I got it. I don't know what you're talking about, so I gotta look it up. Oh my god, that's so cute! I remind you of the volcano girl? Kanya? Or Kana? Kana. That's so cute. I'm happy I remind you of them. When I did my pre-debut clips and stuff where like this model was blacked out with a white outline, like a locked video game character, everybody was saying they were making Deltarune references in my comments, saying I was the knight or something. They were like, the knight literally be doing anything except their job. I had to look up who they were referencing. I've never played Deltarune, but I was getting a lot of those references. After Hours, Relapse, Town of Light. Played a lot of these on stream. Never finished Town of Light because that content got way too sensitive. It's been decades since I played that, but she was my favorite. Aw, that means a lot. Thank you. Abiotic Factor, Darkwood, Lawrence Lure. That game made me unreasonably upset. That game made me unreasonably upset. all the marketing material makes it feel like you can go super fast and climb on literally any surface. You can't. You're not able to do that until you get like halfway through the game. And even then, it's extremely limiting on what you can grab onto and what you can grapple. And it's a mega structure game, which I like, but it frustrated me. And here we get into some of the better games of the year, I think. Or some of the bigger games. Sorry, not necessarily better, bigger games. Some of these I was just playtesting. Some of these I was using to farm clips, like Ware Cleaner. Just farming clips. For pre-debut stuff. That stuff's still on my channel. Interestingly enough. DreadX Collection. I'm never going to finish those videos. I recorded every game in here. But a lot of the games just... they're not good at all. Dead Seat was amazing. Dead Seat's definitely one of my top 10 games of the entire year. Maybe even my top 5. That game is incredible. Cheese Rolling. That game's just funny. Here's all the demos. Bait and Tackle. Surprisingly good for what it is. And here's where we get into the stuff that's all still on my channel. I don't remember playing Oblivion this year. I don't remember playing it this month. Did I open it and leave it open for a while or something? It says 11% of the month that I've played was in Oblivion. So that means it was at least a few hours. But I don't remember doing anything. But yeah. Good to remember what I've done this year. They, he with you. I will do my best to stick to that. I hope you don't mind if I just use they, them for convenience. These days, I've been using they, them for everybody. Just because it's safe and is appropriate no matter the situation. Although it does get a little confusing when I'm referring to a group. People do get confused. But generally when you're referring to a group, you probably shouldn't be using pronouns anyway. Grammatically speaking. I'm not the grammar Nazi. I'm not gonna stop anybody. But I've been told technically you're not supposed to do that. But whatever. Okay. So, yeah. Holy moly. Thank you, Steam, for reminding me of my year and giving me something to look forward to next year. That's a cool way to do a replay. Didn't know they did those. Everybody's doing them now. Used to not be that big of a thing. But like Twitch and YouTube, they've been doing recaps of what you watched. Twitch was giving people recaps last, like, 2 weeks ago. They were giving people recaps of what they watched. I'm like, year's not ending yet. You shouldn't be giving people end of year recaps of what they watched. Mine was pathetic. Because Twitch just reminded me that I've spent less than 20 hours on Twitch. They were like, yeah, you do not watch live streams. You do not watch live streams. You stream, but you do not watch stream. So I need to get better at that. I need to get a lot better. Let me see if I can find that notification. If it's still up. Your recap is here. Yeah, let's see. For the year, yeah. So, according to Twitch, for the year, I have streamed 178 hours. A lot of that's probably after October. Because October is when I started streaming like 20 hours a week. Over 77 streams, 48 distinct day streams. Oh. Since the start of December, when I looked at this the first time, when I looked at my recap the first time, I have 889 hours watched. That seems pretty normal for Twitch viewers, I think. But in December, it told me I had like 100 hours. And I was like, okay, as someone who live streams, I should probably watch more streams so that I can learn, you know, be a better streamer. Because I'm not just here to talk to a void. I'm here to make entertainment for y'all. So I started watching more streams. It is now 214 hours. And these are my top categories for my streams. But I've apparently streamed 48 different days and watched 214 streams. That's not bad. Considering 178 hours is pretty good over 77 streams, because earlier in the year, January to June, I didn't stream that many days a week. I think I streamed 2 days a week. Maybe 2. Sometimes it was just 1. And they were short streams. After October, I've pushed myself to 20 hours a week. My goal is like close to 20 hours streaming, close to 20 hours making videos. That's my goal. So that number, I estimate a lot of that's from October onward. But 48 days streamed this year. Again, probably mostly after October, because we started streaming 4 days a week and now we're down to 3 days a week, which is more manageable. So that's pretty good. But my categories actually surprised me. My top stream reached 22 viewers. I don't know how I did that. I think that was during my Darkwood streams. Holy shit. 4,000 messages this year. That's incredible. I didn't even look at the rest of this. We'll go to the biggest fans later. Thaumaturge was in my top 10%. That got a surprising amount of views. Darkwood also got a lot of views. The thing about Darkwood is I was getting people in my chat who were watching me for Darkwood, not for me. They would watch, they would come in multiple streams a week, but they would never follow. They were following the category, not me. Ah. Hello, Mr. Jack. Welcome in. I have a squirrel brain today, and we're doing some recaps. We just finished doing our Steam recap. I'm showcasing my Twitch recap because it's a little interesting. But yeah, Darkwood was getting a lot of people for the game, not necessarily for me. So while I do feel like I should probably go back and finish that game on stream, my regular viewers, I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily their type of game. Dredge did very well, though. I like Dredge. I just wish that game was longer. Thaumaturge did really well. And then, of course, we got Just Chatting, because what kind of VTuber would I be if I didn't chat? Why, hello there, dear. I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope you are as well. Hello, Mr. Jack. Are you reaping the souls today? Reaping the souls of the damned and distressed? But yeah, top stream, 22 viewers. Top tag was 3D modeling. That was from, again, earlier in the year when I still did that. You see this, Jack? You're one of my biggest fans. Heart. You're one of my biggest fans. Why, yes, they're currently screaming at the moment. Lovely. Oh, shit. Yeah, you're getting called out now. I mean, look. A lot of this, I think, is because y'all have been here from, like, well, Meraki, Twinkerbell, Zenith, Turtle10, I know, Bullet. These 5 were definitely here helping me get affiliate. And I think you found me after my re-debut. But you've been here for almost every stream since. I found you from the LGBTQ tag, actually. That's surprising. I've kept it up just to let people know it's a safe space. I did not know that this tag actually was bringing people to my stream. That's good info. Thank you. I know it's my most commonly used tag because I've had it up forever, but I didn't know it was actually bringing people in. That's good to know. I quite enjoy your company. You don't bore for me. It's hard to stay in someone's stream. Well, thank you. I'm glad I'm entertaining. I can't say I was too entertaining at the start of the year. At the start of the year, I was not that good at talking to myself or talking to anybody on stream. I think I've gotten a lot better. Well, I specifically searched with the tag. Well, I think that's what it means now that you're mentioning it. I don't think it means this is the tag you've used the most, because I've gone a lot of streams without the 3D modeling tag. Actually, before I commit to that statement, let me check my current tags. Yeah, 3D modeling is not on here. I haven't had the 3D modeling tag since October. So, I don't know. I think this is tags that brought people in. So, not the VTubing tag, it's the English tag. 3D modeling LGBTQ. Found you through the fog of Darkwood. Ah, gotcha. So you were here right around the time I hit affiliate then. Because I was streaming Darkwood before or after I hit affiliate? Or was I streaming during my affiliate? I don't know. That was a weird time. That was a weird push. Because I was basically I was worried. Because I was like, oh, when they do the new affiliate stuff, they're going to reset everybody's progress, and I don't want that. I'm really pushing for affiliate. So I think that was happening right around the time I hit affiliate, like officially. Wow, you do not give that energy now? Well, thank you. Again, this is what a year of making content will do. This is what a year of it will do. You get used to talking to an empty room. It also helps that I have music. When I streamed earlier in the year, I did not listen to my own music. I had y'all listen to it. I did not listen to it. But good to know that the LGBTQ tag is actually being searched and bringing people here. It makes me wonder how many other people have discovered me through that, because ever since I've become more open about the whole gender neutral, gender fluid voice thing and being more open to people, my followers have since been more consistent. And what I mean by that is people following and then actually coming to the stream, which is good. I don't know how... I don't know, maybe it's an agency thing. Maybe it's a small agency thing, because I look at like Mythos or like agencies and agency VTubers the size of Mythos, and they'll have like 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, but they'll have 20 viewers. And I think that's just the agency effect, which I don't want. I like having the ratio of 70 viewers and 5 very consistent people. That's good to have. I don't want to not know y'all. I don't want to get there. I mean, having more people to talk to, great, love that. I don't want to have a bunch of people following that I don't know. That just feels weird. Didn't Markiplier say that at one point when he reached like 1 million subscribers? Didn't he have like a cry sesh because he realized he didn't know any of his audience anymore? But anyway, let's continue. We sent 26 raids. Who did we raid the most? Raided Fuaku 3 times, Nikto twice, Patchwork Beanie 7 raids. Okay, we gotta trim that number down. Sorry, too much. The point of rating is to try and get y'all to new VTubers and help y'all discover new people. I don't want to keep rating the same people. I was worried my music stopped permanently. I was like, what the hell? 4 clips, 2 unique clippers. God, what's this clip? You know what? No, we don't got time. But yeah, recaps. Is there anything else good here? No. Okay. We're done here then. Is that your old model? Yes, it was. It was my old model. In fact, you can see on my channel, the oldest videos do have my old model. It's still up. I still keep it up on the channel. That model, interestingly enough, I didn't make with the intention of streaming. I made it because it was becoming common for 3D artists in the VTube space to make their own model. It was becoming common. Mari did it. Spacefish did it. Patchwork, she made her own model. A bunch of VTubers were making their own models, even if they didn't stream. Because it's a good showcase of their skill, and they're not just like their technical skills, but their design skills. And so I made one myself. I was like, you know what? I want to try doing fire hair. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm just going to try doing it. It was an experiment. And it worked out decently. I learned a couple things from it, and I've learned how to since do very anime-styled fire hair. Specifically, the style I learned is Demon Slayer's fire style. But the thing about fire hair is it's kind of limiting design-wise. You can only do so many hairstyles with that. Like basically like ponytails or, you know, loose hair or dreads or something like that. It has to be something loose so that the fire can go up. And I was like, I don't necessarily want that limitation. It's not really me. It wasn't really me. And I was still finding my style. So oddly enough, in trying to do that, in trying to make a model to showcase my skills, I ended up realizing it's not me. It wasn't me. I love that model. I do. I really do. I don't want to make this sound like I hate it. I love it. But this is a better fit for me. This is more my speed. This is more for me. Also, the AR kit is a significant improvement here. I shall look as I kill. No worries, Mr. Jack. You are free to lurk. We are about to go into the game. Remember how I said we should go into the game because I had been yapping for an hour and 20 minutes? We are at the 2-hour mark. We are halfway through the stream and I've done nothing but talk. I'm finally VTuber status. I'm finally a normal VTuber. I can finally yap for 2 hours before playing the game I promised to play. I hear that complaint from a lot of people on Twitter who are outside the VTuber community, and they're like, I want to watch VTubers, but they sit here and yap for hours before playing the game. You was always a VTuber for me. Well, of course I was always a VTuber for you. You're a fellow VTuber. VTuber recognizes VTuber. But no, I think I'm finally acquiring the personality traits that are common with VTubers, I think. Oh yeah, the VTubers I watch do that. Some don't even get to the game in the end. Well, I'm trying. I have plenty more I could yap about, but I'm trying to get to the game today. Honestly, if we sit here and keep yapping, I'm just going to change the title on the back end, change the thumbnail, and we'll just do Black Book Thursday. We could just do Black Book Thursday. It's fine. Because at this point, we're halfway through the stream. But yeah, a lot of VTubers, they yap and yap and yap, and a lot of people are like, ugh, can you please get to the game? And I'm like, well, Corpo VTubers separate their yap session, their game sessions. But that's because they're on a schedule, like a tight schedule, very businessy. Indie VTubers, we yap a lot. Actually, I think specifically the place I saw it brought up was actually Fuwaku's stream. Somebody said in her chat, can you please play the game? She's like, no, I'm gonna sit here and yap. I'm having fun either way. Well, glad to hear it. Let's pull up some yaoi. No. I'll pull up a lot of things. I'm not looking up yaoi. We could do Rule 34. Although I will very freely and openly make fun of yaoi hands. You wouldn't last one day in my stream. I've lurked in your streams. Although you're usually already playing games by the time I get into your streams. Just because your streaming schedule doesn't really match up with like my schedule, my viewing schedule. I'm getting better at watching streams. Because I've realized I don't watch enough streams and I need to watch more. But yeah, I'm getting better. I was lurking in, was it today? Did you play Silent Hill today? I think I was lurking in your, it was either today or yesterday. It's been a blur. But I was lurking in your Silent Hill stream today. I think it was today. And that's usually because I'm at work. Because usually when you're streaming, I'm working. So I'll pop an earphone in and throw you on. Oh, yes, I did. I was talking about fuck. Yeah, we don't need to bring that up. we don't need to bring that one up. But no, I've been getting better about watching streams. But I have noticed Corpo VTubers are very structured with their streams. And like they'll have a hard stop on yap sessions. And that's why I feel like, especially Hololive, I've noticed, they do super chat catch-ups where they will come back to a stream later and it's just a yap session. They're catching up on all the super chats that were happening in previous streams, which is an interesting idea. But I think that's unique to YouTube and unique to them. Most indie VTubers, even the ones on YouTube, they'd probably just yap through and get through them all. I know nothing about Silent Hill. Silent Hill, it's not a very consistent franchise. It's going to change depending on the game you're playing or looking at. So, Silent Hill F's very interesting. You're always welcome in my part of the realm anytime. Well, thank you. I'm probably going to keep lurking there while I work. All the corpos I watch do that. Yeah, not just Hollow. I haven't really watched... Well, no, I do watch a lot of Niji Sanji. I don't watch a lot of FaZe. I see a lot of Pippa clips. But I don't actually watch a lot of FaZe Connect streams now that I think about it. I try to, but I'm more watching their videos. Video content's just easier for me to get into. Maybe that's why I lean towards videos more. Have I said that? Have I come to that realization before? I feel, oh God, I'm going to say it. I'm getting a sense of deja vu. I'm sorry. But I feel like I've made that realization before, that I just watch more videos, and so that's why I lean towards video content. That feels like something I've said before. It feels like something I've said before on stream. Oh my god, that's amazing. We had a bot come in trying to get us to go to streamboo.com. But finally, I caught enough of the banned terms and the right banned terms that it wasn't even posted. I finally caught them before it even reached y'all. That's amazing. Amazing. I finally got the right terms down. I watched from Nijisanji Hollow Star's first stage production. Ah. You know, interestingly enough about Nijisanji, and what I think might change in the coming year, Nijisanji puts more money into male VTubers than anyone else. They put more time and effort into bringing male VTubers forward than anybody else, especially on the EN side. You're doing really good streaming, by the way. As long as you try hard, you could do anything you set your mind to. You got this indeed. Well, thank you so much. It's taken me some time to realize that. It really has. And the support y'all give me really does help. As somebody who mainly watches male VTubers, yes, that's what I'm thinking. But here's the thing. VTubing, at first, when it was first started, and I'm not talking about Kizuna I. I'm talking like when Hololive and Niji first got into it. It was primarily female dominated because that's where most of the talent was. As opposed to like normal live streaming, face cam streaming, which is primarily male. VTubing is mostly female because when you look at the big money and the big people in it, that's who they were. The people who pioneered it were female. But Nijisanji started putting male VTubers into the mix and started putting a lot of money and focus and attention into it. And suddenly male VTubers became more common. And while they're still the minority on that list, it's notable that they started increasing in popularity and that an audience was brought in to the VTubing sphere to watch male VTubers after Nijisanji put that focus in. For example, Luxian from Nijisanji EN was the first male group. Yeah, really blew up. Like that's an understatement how much it blew up in popularity. Because it expanded the VTubing sphere and brought a lot of people who would watch the male VTubers into the VTubing community. So it expanded our community and showed people, hey, male VTubers are actually a thing and they're pretty good. Here, come watch. And so now we have an audience for male VTubers, period. And now we've got groups, some agencies focusing on LGBTQ friendly VTubers and streams or streamers. I know there's a couple VTubers like myself who change their voice, although they don't do it quite like me. They maintain a different voice. They don't switch between one and the other. But I feel like they're becoming more open to that. And so therefore, an audience is coming in that is open and friendly and receptive to that. I started watching VTubers from Luxium. Ah, yep. See? The explosion. The explosion was you. You were part of it. The expansion of the universe. But what's interesting is Hololive, Nijisanji, both they've had open auditions for the past couple years. They've just had open auditions. They haven't had like a set audition period. They've just kept them open. But for whatever reason, last month, they both re-announced, hey, auditions are open. They specifically put out announcements for it. And Nijisanji has a lot of talent. Hololive has a lot of talent. They've both lost some for various different reasons. But that's expected, right? They're a talent agency. You're going to gain talent as you lose talent. And I guess they both decided, hey, we've we should probably expand the amount of auditions we get. So let's re-advertise. There's new streamers out. There's new types of streamers. Let's re-advertise. But what I think is going to be interesting is Hololive's open audition is not specific male or female. I think they're going to reattempt male VTubers on the inside. Their first attempt at Holostars EN, 2 of their talents had some issues. First Stage Production puts out a notice, I think. Yeah, I think they did too. I think they re-advertised as well. I could be wrong. A lot of agencies who have open auditions just permanently forever, they re-advertised it. It wasn't just Hollow and Nijisanji. I think First Stage did it as well. Let me see. First Stage Production. Let's go to your recent posts. Concert. Fan notice, merch. I'm just going to scroll down a bit if I don't see anything in the recent history. Yeah, I'm not immediately seeing anything. Most of their stuff's about concerts, so I don't know if they re-advertised it. Unless it's early enough in November that I didn't see it. I'm not going to go all the way through their November posts. But a lot of the big agencies, they just put out one notice a couple years ago that said, hey, we got permanently for open auditions. Actually, what if I just search audition? First Stage Production. Yeah, 2023. First Stage Production auditions. Oh, that one has a deadline. So they have not had open auditions. Interesting. Oh, their website has an audition page. Let's just look. So that was the last audition that they held. Was earlier this year. So they don't have open auditions. That's interesting. I thought they would have. They're a big enough agency, I figured they would have just an open audition. But the point I'm trying to make here is Hololive's first attempt at bringing male VTubers to EN, mixed success. Because their first wave of that, I don't know if you remember, 2 of their talents had an issue. They had a conflict, and now those 2 are not with Hololive anymore. So essentially their first male gen got cut in half within the first few months. Not great. And since then, it's been a while, they haven't debuted a new male EN gen. But when they re-advertised it, they did not specify, they specifically said, gender of the applicant does not matter. So that means they're getting both male and female talents. They're looking for Holostars and Hololive. I think that means they're going to make another push into the male VTuber market, which means all the complaints that male VTubers have had in the past couple years, like, oh, there's no... And again, this is Twitter. Twitter gets mad about everything. And while there is some truth to this, there are arguments against it. Everybody says, well, it's 1,000 times harder to be a male VTuber because no one watches male VTubers. But again, mostly female-dominated industry here. Most of the audience is male. And most of the big female streamers outside of corpos very much cater to what I would refer to as a gooner. They very much cater to gooners. And if you're a female catering to gooners with a primarily male audience on Twitch who watch VTubers, yeah, it's going to be easier for you. But when Niji Sanji started focusing on male VTubers, an audience came in to support them. I think if Hololive makes another big push for male VTubing, it's going to bring in more viewers into the space to support male VTubing and think it's cool and actually watch them, and you're going to see male VTubers on the rise. Not just because the first time Niji Sanji made that explosion, Luxium, boom, male VTubers exist. The second explosion is going to be an audience for indie male VTubers. Yeah, it's been like 2 years-ish since a new wave. Yeah. I don't necessarily think it scared them. I do, however, think they recognize they got burned. It's never a good look when your talents have issues that early. That means something went wrong in the audition process and they weren't heavily scrutinized enough. So that means they got to be more selective. Granted, this is my opinion, there's not nearly as many male VTubers or male candidates applying as there are female candidates applying to these auditions. So their selection pool is much smaller, and they knew that, which is why they were like, okay, we gotta wait before we do this again, because we're gonna need a bigger selection pool. We can't just pick the best 5 people. They've got to be the right 5 people. Because it's not just about picking who is the best out of your candidates, because the best may not necessarily be a good fit. So I think they made the right decision there. And Niji Sanji kind of had a monopoly on male VTubers on the EN side for a while. They grabbed a lot of good male talent early. Now, granted, Niji Sanji has also had his issues, but I think by this point, most of those issues have been resolved because talents have either separated or actions have been taken. But I mean, that's the same with any talent agency. You're going to have inter-talent issues. Comes with the territory. And it's not like Hololive hasn't had issues, especially on the JP side. Comes with the territory. It's just part of what you got to accept when you're either watching those agencies or you are in those agencies. But I mean, I come from the American film industry, the indie film industry especially, and I've worked with several talent agencies for actual live actors. It's just as much drama. I can tell you right now, between talents in those agencies, you would think these people work together on a regular basis on all these films and these television shows. There is just as much drama going on. It does not change. That's just normal. I don't like it, but it's just normal. I heard someone describe it as just a job. There's 40 plus people. You're not going to vibe with every colleague. Exactly. That's fine. That's perfectly fine and acceptable. That's generally speaking why a lot of these agencies, especially Niji Sanji and Hololive, go through a lot of work to make sure that everybody in the gen really meshes well with each other. Because you do not want gen mates to not get along. You do not want that under any circumstances, because they're going to be the people they collab with the most. So you've got to take every effort pre-debut to make sure these people mesh well. And if they don't, then you either take one person, put them in the next wave, or you try to get them used to each other, or you just take, if it's one person who's a problem child, you take them, pull them out, and go down to your next candidate. You always have a second option, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth, and so on. But it's just a job. It's a job. You're not going to vibe with everybody, and that's okay. But you shouldn't have issues with people, because at the end of the day, you have to work together. This is not really an option. You have to work with these people. But again, that goes back to the fact that a lot of people just don't have social skills from adulthood that have been built up through working a day job for a decade. So they just don't have it. And they sign up for it. Yeah. Honestly, this is just my personal opinion. They do sign up for it. But no matter what talent agency you're in, what kind of talent you have, most of your entry talent, your acquisition, is going to be people 16, depending on the country, 16 to 25. It is very rare to get new talent in your agency that is over the age of 25. And that's just because of where people are in their lives. Most people are settled into whatever they're trying to do by the age of 25. It's rare. What I have seen done before is certain talent agencies, again, different industry, this is freelance film, they focus a lot of time and money into talent retention, which is a very different strategy. Retention means you've got to make them happy. You've got to make them work well with others. You've got to make them appealing to from every aspect. And so you put a lot of money into it. That means, and not just, that just means development of that talent, not just their professional skills, right? Not just, hey, we're going to get you a vocal trainer so you can sing better. We're going to get you a music trainer to help you learn an instrument. We're going to get you a voice acting coach to help you get into that industry. Because yes, these agencies do that stuff, but there's a couple in television especially that focus on long-term retention. And what they do is they basically have life coaches. Your manager is often not just someone who manages your schedule and acts as your agent. They are someone who helps you with everything. They are supposed to be your mentor. Because a lot of them used to be actors themselves and then went into production. So they're able to give you advice. They're able to help you with interpersonal conflicts. They're able to, I mean, they're not going to give you therapy. They're not a psychologist. But they're there to help you solve a lot of your personal issues and help you develop valuable skills as an adult. Because they want to keep you long term, which means they don't want you to be a problem. They don't want you to develop problems later on. Is that a strategy every company can afford to use? Absolutely not. But I think as a talent agency, if you're hiring somebody, if you're bringing in new talent that's at that young age, you should probably realize, oh, this person doesn't have a lot of life skills and a lot of adult social skills from the workplace. We just need to be aware of that when we hire them, instead of having expectations ahead of time. It'll save a lot of problems early on, because you can recognize the problems early and handle them before they become an issue. So like, let's say there's an interpersonal conflict happening between two talents. One of the talents is a little bit older and they have, the expectation is they should have some social skills from an adult workplace because they've had a day job. And the other person you hired basically straight out of high school. Well, you should probably look at this and go, okay, it hasn't become an issue yet, but we recognize these two don't get along. We understand one of these people probably doesn't have the social skills needed to properly handle the situation. Let's do some gentle coaching, some gentle mentorship, some, like, you don't have to sit there and make them do death by PowerPoint on, here's how to be a good human friend. First, walk up to Steve. Say hi to Steve. Hi, Steve. Don't insult Steve. You don't have to make them do that. But gentle coaching and mentorship is necessary for people in that age group. And I'm not saying you have to invest a lot of money into it, but just being aware that that may be necessary to avoid future conflict is something that every talent agency, regardless of your industry, should be aware of and prepare for. I think it's good. And I think Niji Sanji's finally realized that. Niji Sanji has had a rough 2 years with some of their talents. But I think they have finally realized that, oh, some of these people probably need some coaching. Some individuals probably just... Oh my god, what was happening with my hand? My hand was like twisted backwards. There it is. Yeah. My hand is not twisted this way, by the way. I think it's a little too sensitive to the rotation. But yeah. I think both Niji Sanji and Hololive have both realized they want talent retention more than talent acquisition now. Which I think is good. I think that's a good thing for them to focus on. I'm not an expert in talent management or anything. That's just my limited perspective experience from dealing with talent in film and television. So, not really sure how applicable it is to content creation, because that's a very different sphere. Especially when you give your talent a lot of freedom. So I have no idea how applicable it is. No, like, I agree with you. Hey, someone does. That's good. I don't know. I've never really shared my opinions this openly on talent management just because I'm not an expert. I'm really not. Take everything I say, not with a grain of salt. Take it with like a pound of salt. Okay, just scoop that salt and dump that shit there because I am not an expert. I have a limited perspective from my work in film, and content creation is a very different space. A very different space. I can speak as an expert on a few things. Talent management's not one of them. Just my opinion. But yeah. And I think whatever Niji Sanji and Hololive do for their next wave, I think it's going to be good for both. Both of them have learned a lot of lessons in the past couple years. I think it's going to work really well for them wherever they go and whatever they do with their next EN talents. I think they've pretty much got JP squared away on both sides. Both companies. I think they've got JP squared away. It's EN. It's EN that's been the learning process. Which makes sense. They're Japanese-based companies based from the idol industry in Japan, which is its own bag of crazy. That's got a lot of weird quirks in regards to talents. God, I remember Yago getting up when he was starting Hololive and saying, our goal is to have virtual idols. And I mean, to a certain point, he has succeeded, but like most of Hololive, it's not an idol company. It's a virtual YouTuber company. Very different. Because there are VTuber agencies that are only for idols. There are. Especially recently. There have been a couple that popped up very recently that are like, nope, we're not focusing on streaming. We are purely idols. Let me see if I can find one. They popped up very recently on Twitter announcing auditions. Luminara announced auditions, but I don't... Have they announced who they selected? That was a while ago. Yeah, they did. But that wasn't new debut talent. They took pre-existing personalities and brought them in. You know, searching VTuber idol auditions, actually not coming up with a lot of results. Did I hallucinate this shit? Did I hallucinate this? I remember like 2 weeks ago, there were a bunch of auditions, but I would look at them and I'd be like, oh, what kind of talent are they looking for? And it'd say like, we need you to be able to sing or play an instrument. And I'm like, okay, not for me. Not for me. Because they're not gaming focused. They are song focused. They are very much idol focused. Hololive is not one of those. Hololive has VTubers, not idols. Do they do some idol activities? Yes. But they are not a pure idol company anymore. And I think both Nijisanji and Hololive have realized, the idol culture doesn't completely translate to EN. That's kind of unique to JP audiences. Well, Eastern audiences, I should say. Not really Western. It's not really a Western thing. A little bit of it does translate over. A little bit of it you can localize into the Western culture fairly well, but not all of it. So wherever they go with this new audition stuff that they're advertising for, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to whatever they do. Oh my God. We made it to the 2.5 hour mark. I didn't think it was possible. It's basically the whole stream done. Yeah, we're not playing the game today. I'm going to change my title. Let's see. Tree was supposed to play a game. Instead, I just yapped. There we go. That's a much more appropriate title. Where'd you get your background from? There is a VTuber Discord and a couple other places. If you Google like VTuber assets, there's going to be a couple like groups and channels and sites and Twitter groups and stuff like that handing out free assets and paid assets. This is a free asset that I found in someone's bundle. They said, hey, I've gone through and collected a lot of my favorite nature assets that are available for free. And I saw this one and grabbed it real quick. The plan was just to use this for like a couple weeks while I get an actual background commissioned. But it took me a while to find somebody, because again, I've got a 3D model. It's not really in the anime aesthetic. And so it's tougher than I thought to find someone who could match it well enough. So that's why it's taken me so long to get a background. But luckily I found a really good artist. Commission's not done, so I'm not going to show it yet. But I've had an artist who is working excellently behind the scenes. Nailum Studio. They are excellent. They make backgrounds, but they make them from 3D models. So some of the aesthetic, especially in regards to the outlines and the way they work, is actually really good. It matches my aesthetic pretty closely, which is why I've commissioned them. I commissioned 2 versions. I commissioned a daytime version and a nighttime version, which I've already set up. I've been testing with them, so I've already got the nighttime trigger. What is the... There it is. So this hotkey is going to be what I use to switch back and forth. It's going to be really cool. But right now I have the testing background turned off, so it's not showing. But this is... I will eventually have a hotkey that I can just press to switch to night in that dark version. It's going to be really cool. I'm really excited for it. But it took a while. It took a long time to find somebody who could match this aesthetic. Because this is weird. This is really weird. I didn't really... This is my style. I don't really have any references for this. So it was hard to give them like a reference guide other than the model itself and the Blender file and stuff. Does it change the hat too? No. Did it change the hat? No. The hat is just a prop that I can turn on and off. Same with the lights. See? I've also got a red Rudolph nose. I'm curious, can I don't think I can change how bright that thing is. Oh, color theory, I thought I did. Well, what's happening is I'm putting a color filter over. So when I press this hotkey, what's happening, let me go to my node graph. Is it in camera stuff? Yeah. I'm doing a color grading effect on my model. So everything on it is getting adjusted color-wise. It's not specifically the hat. I thought that's what you meant, like it was changing the hat, but it's not specific to anything. It's just the entire model here gets color graded differently. That's all there is to it. I tried different things, like I tried setting different lighting colors, because the light on me right now is just a straight white light. There's no color to this light on my 3D model. So I thought maybe I changed the color to blue. It didn't really look that great. It also removed all detail from my teeth. So like, let me get into this here. I got some detail here on my teeth. When I went to the blue light, that detail was completely gone. It was just a blinding whiteness. And I mean, nothing on this model is white. The eyes, the sclera, is that what they're called? The whites of my eyes, they're not white, they're gray. I do have white reflections, but the scleras are not white. And also my tongue, when I turned the light blue, got very red. But versus when I do the color grading, a lot of the detail's still there. And nothing really changes color this way. Do you like being this close? Ooh, I love fangs. Yeah. Not really too big of fangs. I did protrude the canines a little. I thought about going the fang route as like you know, like a real Spriggan or a Dryad or something like that. But I said, nah, I'm gonna make them just big enough to be noticeable, but not like super long vampire fangs, because I was leaning towards that. Also, I'm noticing when I get this close, the oh, what's it called? The ambient occlusion is really noticeable. Up here at the corners of my mouth and above, between the corners of my mouth and the nose, there's a little bit of line shading that appears when I smile. That's ambient occlusion. It's also what's making the corners of my mouth appear soft and shaded when I smile right here. I like it when it's subtle, but I'm realizing when I get this close, it's no longer subtle. It's very visible. Well, if you look at my user, you'll know I love vampires. I've actually been looking at my OBS chat screen, which doesn't show your user. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, that's a little vampire right there. I love that. I love Little Nightmares. I love Little Nightmares. God, I wish Little Nightmares 3 was better. This is why you can't hand shit to a different team and expect them to do the same thing. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. You'd think years later people would learn that you can't just hand things to a new team. Well, that as well, but just my name. Oh, you meant your username. Oh. I'm such a fucking idiot. Look, sometimes the brain doesn't compute anything, like, at all. I read your name, VTUBER I, and I'm like, yeah, we're talking about vampires here. Oh, you really like vampires? Oh, your user, you must be talking about your user profile picture. I am so sorry. I'm literally sitting here reading Vamp, and I'm not connecting the dots. I don't know how do I solve puzzles in puzzle games? How do I even do that? This shouldn't be possible. I couldn't connect simple vamp to vampire in a username. What is wrong with me? You're fine. I don't know about fine, but I'm getting by. You know what? I've had enough of this Christmas. There we go. Let's get some of these beats going. But yeah, not really a vampire vibe. I don't know. I didn't really go with reference here when I was making this model. I just kind of made it as I went. That's why I don't have a character sheet. Because, I mean, I didn't make one. Also, apologies, I lied for a second there. I was gonna say I've had my profile picture since the second game came out, I believe. That's what it looked like. It looked like the second game. Good old days. Wasn't even that long ago. Shame. Companies have tried that before. Hey, let's take this franchise and hand it to a different team and expect them to do the same thing for a sequel. It'll work out, right? Never works out. Never works out. But people will keep trying it. They'll buy an IP and send it off somewhere else, hoping that you can recreate the formula, I guess. I don't know what they're planning with that. I don't know why they really do it. Maybe it's to save money. I don't know. Second game was 2020. That long ago? 2021? No way. No. Little Nightmares 2 release date. Oh. February 11th, 2021. No. No. I refuse to believe that. I know I just read it on Google, but I refuse to believe it. Have you played the mobile game? I have not. I have not played the mobile game. I'm going to admit I play 2 games. My phone is a piece of shit. I only have 2 games for my phone. You ready to hear what they are? You're going to hate me. You're going to unfollow after you hear these things. 2 videos. The first game is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Not Master Duel, Duel Links. And the second game is Reverse 1999, a gacha game. Although I don't spend money on it, so, you know, I have the free-to-play experience. I'm not up to speed on mobile games. I played just 2. It's a different story, very good. Let me see if it even appears in the Google Play Store for me. The problem is my phone's old enough that I can't even play a lot of games, like it just won't show up. Let's see, Little Nightmares. Not available for your phone. Is it the Very Little Nightmares? Very Little Nightmares by Bandai Namco. Yeah, it looks like a very different game. But the Google Play Store is telling me that it's not available for my phone. Not compatible with my model. That's also the main reason I only have 2 games on my phone. I'd like to play other games, but yeah. 6 is not the main character. It's a different girl. Ooh, that's interesting. You know, they have a demo or a beta version of Google Play for desktop. Maybe I can play it on my desktop through the Google Play Store, the beta. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try doing that. I cannot speak on gacha games. I merely play Genshin. Well, Genshin's still a gacha game. All Hoyoverse games are gacha games. And Genshin set a lot of the standards for gachas that we have right now, so yeah. Don't discount your experience on gachas just because you've played mainly Genshin Impact. A lot of the standards set by Genshin and Hoyo have influenced everybody else. Very Little Nightmares goes into 6's backstory. Ooh. Wasn't Little Nightmares 2 also going into... Because Little Nightmares 2 was a prologue to Little Nightmares 1, right? So does that mean Very Little Nightmares is a prologue to... Does that mean it's a prologue to the prologue? I don't know. No, I'm saying I mainly play gachas. Oh. I see. I misunderstood. Very Little Nightmares, second, first. Okay, so I got it right. It's Very Little, then second, then first. And then I think the third... I didn't really follow a whole lot of the story of Little Nightmares 3, but I think Little Nightmares 3 happens after Little Nightmares 1, right? Yeah, follows the story of Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Okay. Because that's supposedly why the world is in such a bad situation, is 6 has kind of wreaked havoc, I think. And that's why the world of Little Nightmares 3 is a little fucked up. But I mean, you wouldn't know that because the connections are very minimal. I don't know. If it wasn't on their own page for the description of the game, I wouldn't have known. There's also comics. There's comics on a podcast. Jesus, there's a whole franchise of multimedia content. How did I not know about this? Little Nightmares comics. You can just get them straight from Titan or the App Store. Ooh, there's a lot of these little comics. These seem pretty cool. I might actually have to read some of them. Please read the comics, they're great. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to find time for them. I'm seeing a character with a taped X over her mouth and a cast on her arm. I'm guessing that's the focus of the comic. I'm guessing that's the main character. Although I also see Paper Bag Head character from Little Nightmares 2. I'm just looking at covers, by the way. I'm basing these things entirely off the cover. There's also a mobile app with different comics with Mono from the Oh, Mono, that's what their name is. Gotcha. Just trying to remember what their name was. Granted, it's been 2021 since I've played these games, so I didn't remember who anybody was. Hush is the name of this character. Gotcha. Hush is a mute girl. Aren't all the Little Nightmares protagonists mute? Feels weird for them to specify that. I've seen the game over 20 times. I know a lot. I'd certainly hope so. Man, you're a bigger fan of the game than I am, that's for sure. Good on you. It is rare for me to find a game that I nestle into that much, that I can just become that big a fan of. I think it's because a lot of what I'm doing here is like I'm switching between a lot of small indie games back and forth and on to the next. It's rare for me to be able to sit down and go, this is my game. This is my thing. This is my hyper fixation. I do have one. I do have one game that's a hyper fixation. I don't know if it would ever be a game that I would play on stream though. It is a cult following game. It's not really something everybody's into. Oddly enough, Little Nightmares is not my favorite game. It's not. You've played it 20, you've seen the game 20 times. Or games over 20 times, but it's not your favorite. It's your second favorite. What's your first favorite? Is it Castlevania because you're a vampire? Oh, Mori. Ooh. That's a good choice. Very interesting game. With a surprising twist. I need to go back and play Omori. I need to go back and play it with some fresh perspective. Have you seen every ending? No. I have not. Then I will not speak. Thank you. This Omori's weird. It's a weird game where you just kind of have to discover things as you go and piece it together. And by the time, at least for me, I'm trying to think what my ending was called. I think it's called the Sunny ending, or the Sunny. I don't know. When did that game come out? Like 2020? I remember playing it back then, and now I'm realizing my memory fails me. Don't remember exactly what I got. I know I didn't get a bad ending. I know I didn't get a bad ending. Well, it's because of the nature of the game. Debatable what's a good and bad ending. Right. Hikikomori ending? No idea. I do know the concert completed the concert. Omori relinquished control, woke up in a hospital. I don't know what route that is. I don't know if it's considered a good ending. I just know it's not a bad one. That's what I got. If not, that's one of the bad ones. What was your basil like? Oh God, now you're having me remember shit. Testing my memory here. I don't remember. I know I watered it. Trying to remember. Where was Basil when Sunny was in the hospital? I mean, he was in a hospital room. I think there's a secret. Let me explain what I remember. I remember Sunny wakes up in the hospital. There's flowers all around him. And there's a bunch of ghostly apparitions of his friends. They all leave. And this is where I think it's a secret ending. There is a door that Sunny will not go through. And so you have to pursue... Are they called the Basil Stranger? Is that what they're called? I don't remember. It's been a while. But you go to Basil's hospital rooms. Everybody's there waiting. And then credits roll. Basil Stranger? Ah, gotcha. Did you water Basil's flowers? I think I did. I don't know. I know I started a second playthrough, never finished it. Maybe I watered it in that playthrough? I don't remember. I do know the ending I got was going to Basil's hospital room. If you didn't get the true ending, who knows? I know there's a lot of endings. There's a lot of endings. I know there's bad endings. I know there's neutral endings. I know there's other routes that I haven't even tried, that I have not done. So there's a lot more to that game that I just have not touched at all. So I don't know what you mean by Hikikomori ending. Don't know what that means. But there's still a lot for me to go through. That is an interesting game though. Maybe I play it on stream. There's an idea. There's an idea. Apologies, I love this game very, very much. I'll talk endlessly about it. Don't look it up. I'm not. Visual novels are the type of game that if you look it up, you've completely ruined the point of playing a visual novel. It's like reading a mystery novel and then you skip to the back of the book. Like you kind of... I will say to a point, spoilers don't exist for everything. Like, I'm sorry, it's hard to spoil a Marvel movie. It's really hard to spoil a Marvel movie. Now, when you're running around saying like, Snape killed Dumbledore back in the early 2000s, that might be considered a spoiler because that was the shocking twist. But not everything can be spoiled. Omori and most visual novels are just one of those things that the moment you look it up, you've ruined your experience. Though I will say that there's only one way to get that ending, so you need to be precise. Well, I still need to do... I've only gotten one ending of the Sunny route. I know there's an Omori route that I haven't even touched. At least I don't think. I don't think I've touched it. So there's a lot to this game that I haven't even touched until I at least complete the Omori route once, which I don't even really know how to start. I'll figure it out if I play the game again. But I've got to do that before I even look up anything, because I haven't even discovered half the game. It's huge. It's a massive visual novel. It's massive. I actually don't even know if it technically counts as a visual novel. Some of the story functions like a visual novel, but it has the gameplay of a JRPG. I don't know. Because it was originally an RPG Maker game, right? So it's a weird game, but I've got to go back through that. Thank you for reminding me of that. I completely forgot about it. Other life things going on that pulled me away from it. Currently achievement hunting, so I'm going through every ending, but I've known this game since 2023. Jeez. Well, good luck. There are a lot. There's a lot. There's also just standard bad endings. I'm not necessarily aiming for those, but I want to try and get the main endings. There's also a couple secret endings that I may have to look up if I don't get them naturally. There are 2 main endings. Good to know. But yeah, I'm gonna have to jump back into that. There's games that I've started that I haven't completed. There's also games I've started on stream that I haven't completed. You got the secret ending if you watered Basil's flowers. Is that the post-credits thing? Well, no, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer. You already answered. Yes? Okay. Then I guess I did get it. No worries. Like I said, I did one playthrough of Sunny. I started a second. I couldn't remember which one I watered the flowers in. But yes, the shadow behind Sunny disappearing in the post-credits, I got that. Don't worry. I got that. Delay? Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I asked the question and then I said, don't answer that. So that's on me. But that's also good to know that I have that. So that's the secret true ending. See, that's what I get. That's what happens when you go around a game pushing every button and seeing what you can do. That's some good shit right there. But again, I haven't even discovered half the game. Even though I have a secret/true ending, not even half the game. Not even half. I got a lot to do. So, okay. It is 10 o'clock. I did not play a game today. But this was a good stream. I enjoyed this. Maybe on occasion I should set aside time in the future to do just chatting streams, not just gaming streams. This was good. I enjoyed this a lot. Thank you so much for encouraging me to yap. Yeah, no, not even half. Yeah, it's huge. It's kind of, I think, and I only say this because I played it, I think Omori might be close to the size time-wise and like the number of endings and content to Fate Stay Night, the original Fate Stay Night, the visual novel. Because you've got all these different routes that build up to Heaven's Feel at the end. I don't know if you even played Fate Stay Night or if you even know what Fate is, but that was an amazing visual novel that I played way back when. I'm really dating myself here. Really aging myself. I don't know that, so I have no idea. Don't worry. They do have a gacha game based off that entire franchise, but I haven't played any of the games or watched any of the anime outside of the Fate Stay Night series. So that's pretty much all I know. My knowledge of Fate as a franchise is very limited. Actually, no, I did watch Fate Zero. Fate Zero was good. Good anime. I watched Fate Zero, the original Fate Stay Night, which is also where the quote comes from, people die when they're killed. That comes from Fate Stay Night. That comes from the Fate Stay Night anime. It's the funniest shit. People die when they're killed. Like, yeah, no shit, buddy. But they basically made an anime in Fate Stay Night for every route. So, let me see. Fate Stay Night series. I have watched Fate Zero. I've watched the original 2006 anime for Fate Stay Night, which just covers the Fate route, the normal route. And then I've also watched Unlimited Blade Works. I have not watched the newest Heaven's Feel series. Is it a trilogy of movies, I think? I don't know. I've heard about it, just haven't watched it. That's all I've watched. There's a bunch of other stuff. There's a bunch of spin-offs for Fate. There's sequels in the franchise for Fate. It's a weird franchise. It's a weird franchise. But those are the only anime I've watched, but I've completed the entire visual novel. That's so interesting. It is. It's a very interesting series. I think you could probably get... Let me see. Where can you even buy this? Because, like, I remember they took the visual novel down from the original store. I think I've still got it on my hard drive somewhere. Oh, they remastered it and put it on Steam last year. Ugh, $30 though? I don't know about that. Steam says... Okay. Hang on. Steam says, similar to games you've played, Witcher Wild Hunt. Yes, my very anime visual novel. Very anime. Similar to The Witcher. Oh, Mori cost me 30. Is 30 high? No, it's not that it's high. It's just that I'd be paying that much for something that's old. You gotta realize the original Fate Stay Night came out in early 2000s. Like, I think the original visual novel was like 2003? 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. Somewhere in that 2-year range, 3-year range. And I'm looking through the Steam page at this art. The art has certainly been cleaned up a bit to, at the very least, from what I can tell, 1080p. But, like, it's a visual novel. I don't think it even cost me $30 back then. So I don't really know, other than the still art visuals, I don't know what all has been remastered. Normally, if you're going to charge $30 for a remaster, you've done something other than... Because here's the thing. The original version that we downloaded was probably originally like 1080p images, because artists always use massive canvases because everything gets downscaled anyway. So you have a massive canvas and then it gets downscaled for the final game. I think that's what happened for the Fate Stay Night art back then. And so this remaster could have just been them pulling the original canvases, putting them into the game at their original or high, you know, resolutions, and saying, ah, this is a remaster. I don't know. You can't trust Aniplex. You can't trust Aniplex. I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them. But also the Fate Stay Night, or the Fate series, not just Stay Night, Fate series has been notoriously misused in the past by people to just suck money from people. The gacha is one of those examples. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and find somebody to raid. Mr. Jack, if you are still here, are you ready to go raid somebody? This was fun. It was. I've never done a full Yap stream. This was a lot of fun. I think I got to do this more often. I got to find reasons to do this more often. Actually, forget finding reasons. I just got to do it more often. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. All right, let's see who we can raid. Half the time I was just talking about my interest. Same. I don't know what you think I was doing. I was sitting here talking about my interest. That's all I ever yap about is my personal interests. Don't feel bad about that. Don't feel like you were forcing me to talk. I was enjoying this. All right, who to raid? It was a great stream indeed. Thank you so much. Glad you enjoyed it. I know it's not my usual content, but I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. You should stream Omori, by the way, if you want. I'm thinking about it. I'm seriously thinking about it. Don't forget to tell people what you're going to be doing next time. Well, what we're going to be doing Thursday is what I was planning to do today. We're going to be playing Black Book, which is a deck builder strategy game about being a black magic sorceress. Look, we were supposed to be playing it today. I got a thumbnail for it and everything, but yeah, that didn't happen. So we will be playing that Thursday, and that should keep us busy until the Christmas stream. That game should keep us busy until the Christmas stream, maybe even after. It's supposed to be like 20 something hours. Which again, strategy games usually are, especially when they're turn-based. So, but yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Let's go ahead and raid Yukimai. Just because I like her title, Shedding Myself with My Husbandos. Who doesn't love a title like that? She's playing Where Winds Meet. If you're into that MMO, she's got drops on it available. So be sure to check that out. But we're going to go raid her. She also looks like she's going to keep going for a little bit. This late at night, a lot of people are starting to probably close off for the night. So we're going to go raid her. Thank you both for being here for my Yap sesh. Hope you enjoyed more Yap Core, because I'm going to do more of it in the future, and I'm going to consider Omori next year to include. But first things first, I got to get through my backlog of new games. Well, new games that I've just been keeping and collecting on Epic. So yeah, we got to get through that first. That's my priority for the start of next year, is to get through that on stream. So thank you both for coming in. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night, and I will see you over in Yuki's stream. I will be lurking, but I will be there. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye, and happy holidays.